Bears corner. Nicole, take it away.
Well, let me talk to our audience here. I woke up this morning, and Matt Nagy still had a job. Do you know how upset that made me? The day I get the Adam Schefter, Matt Nagy has been relieved of his duties as Chicago Bears head coach, I will be the happiest person alive. The happiest person. Bears, obviously, this wouldn't be anticipated if the Bears didn't lose. The Bears lost to the Browns 26-6. It should have been like 54-6 based on the way the game looked. So we're kind of lucky the Browns did not score more than 30. Listen. Oh my God. Justin Fields' wide receivers were open on 29% of plays, worst in the NFL. His offensive line allowed a 50% pressure rate, also worst in the NFL. And his play caller, Matthew Nagy, got him outside of the pocket 6% of dropbacks. 6%. Fields went 6 of 20 for 68 yards, which when I put that stat in the doc, Gabby turned to me and was like, that can't be the full game, right? That had to have been first quarter stats. And I just looked at her longingly, staring into the distance, wishing that were true. But it was not. The Bears, 1 net passing yard. 1. That means Justin Tucker, his kick, more yards than the Bears got all game. Justin Tucker, on his own, got more yards than the Bears could pass for. Defense actually played pretty well, but they couldn't win the game all on their own. That's why, the game being 26-6, kind of amazing. Browns, good offensive line. Bears, bad offensive line. So good on the Bears defense, right? Robert Quinn actually did some cool things. So, I'll take it.
Silver
I don't even know
lining,
where to go.
kids.
Listen, before I go in on Matt Nagy, I will say this. It couldn't have been all Matt Nagy because he was not physically on the field doing all of these actions. But man, it would be so much easier to berate him if he was, because it feels like he was. You
gotta blame someone.
Jason Peters is the man of the day. My goodness, why did we sign him? He's old. He can't move. He pushed Myles Garrett into Justin Fields for Myles Garrett to get his one of the 4.5 record sacks, Browns record, that he had on the day. He pushed, I'm not kidding, look this up, pushed Myles Garrett into him. It was absolutely incredible. The offensive line couldn't block. Justin Fields did not move. You're scaring me. Justin Fields held on to the ball a little too long, which was one of his problems in college, and didn't get out of the pocket. No one's ever free of those criticisms, but it is Nagy time, folks. It is Nagy time. Because as I sit here at 7:14 p.m. Arizona time on Monday night, September 27th, Matthew Nagy is sitting in his home in Lake Bluff, Illinois, with a job, comfortably with a job, at 9:14 p.m. in Lake Bluff, Illinois. I cannot stress enough. I know where he lives. I cannot stress enough.
Oh, the whisper
of why this man has a job.
Just so we're clear, all we need here is on the 3rd of December, 1952, Matt Nagy III was born, Lake Bluff, Illinois. 9:14 p.m. 9:14 p.m.
presides there.
He currently presides in Lake Bluff, Illinois.
Currently residing in his residence. Once upon a time. You literally, it sounds like you're stating the opening to a novel that's been turned into a movie.
It's a thriller. It's a thriller where
it's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. Nagy, going into this week, all 3 QBs under consideration for the week 4 start against the Detroit Lions. I will add a little bit of context to this. Dalton obviously dealing with a new knee bruise. My goodness. Foles says he dinged up his hand, but I think he should be fine. And to this I say, F it. Start Foles. Put him in this offense because I know those other 2 won't, but Foles will yell at Nagy for what the hecking heck this offense is. Because that was one of the worst game plans I've ever seen in my life. Because this man cares more about his own ego than putting this team in the best position to win. Matt Nagy... and you can't even say he's doing this for a job. How is he doing this for a job? How is that loss that bad if he's doing this just to keep his job? That doesn't make sense. The inconsistencies are whack. I don't get it. Oh, well, maybe Fields wasn't ready. This is not the narrative we're using with Zach Wilson when Zach Wilson clearly wasn't ready. Man has thrown 5 picks in 3 games. 4 of them in the same game. And you're saying, oh, well, Andy Dalton's an option. No, he's not. Why, if Fields isn't ready, It used to be you put your rookie QB in, let him get the reps, and if we go 1-16 with Justin Fields at the helm, and he's better for it next year, who cares? That's the way it used to be. That's the way it should be. I don't like this whole, oh, well, maybe they're not ready. I get not wanting to put him behind that offensive line, but he's the only one that can move out of that offensive line. But then Nagy didn't move him outside of the pocket. Like, the game plan put no one in a position to win. He did this with Trubisky. He's done it now. And it is just so infuriating to see over and over Matt Nagy not put this offense in a position to win because he cares more about his cute plays than getting the offense past the 50-yard line. And the only time we got past the 50-yard line on Sunday, Nagy settled for a field goal.
Oh,
Nagy
man.
said it was like, I don't remember what the score was, like 17-3 or something, and we settled for a field goal. It's like we got down the field because of a poorly called DPI, defensive pass interference, and we didn't take advantage of it. Like, I cannot think of a more emblematic thing of the Nagy offense than this. You have a playmaker. Your excuses are running out, and your offense is still the most unproductive offense in the NFL. It is not modern. It's just... I can't even put all my thoughts into words because they're just kind of rattling around in here. Matt Nagy is, I don't care what you tell me, is the worst coach in the NFL. Should not have a job. He was never the reason the Chiefs did anything on offense. I will remind you, he was the offensive play caller in that game, the Chiefs-Titans games, where Marcus Mariota threw the pass to himself. And we hired him the next day.
Matt?
I was excited about it for a year. And then he never did anything to help Trubisky. He hasn't done anything to help Dalton. And he hasn't done anything to help Fields. And I don't know how much more of this I can take. Because he cares more about his ego and his cute little play calls than he does putting this team in a position to win.
Matt Nagy kind of, he kind of looks like a middle-aged...
Mr. Clean?
Yeah! What? I was gonna say middle-aged bald man.
Bald man.
I
Still
mean,
has
that
a
would
job.
just be an accurate description of him.
Bald man still
Middle-aged
has
bald
a job at
man.
9:18 p.m. sitting comfortably in his home in Lake Bluff, Illinois.
Mr. Clean himself.
He's
kids.
so lucky I'm not in Illinois right now. My goodness, he's so lucky.
Well, okay, wait.
And
I'm
she's
just
joking,
curious.
kid.
I'm just curious if you were in Illinois right now, if you were in, what is it, Little Bluff, Illinois?
Lake Bluff.
Lake Bluff. Sorry, it might as well be Little Bluff.
Oh no.
What would you-
No. You don't know the Lake Bluff, Lake Forest area. Have you learned nothing from our Sheriff Spain interview? Lake
That's
Forest
true.
is where the rich people live. Of the North Shore.
Okay. Big
The
Bluff.
richest of the rich.
All right, Big Bluff, Illinois. If you were there, what would you do to Matt Nagy?
Legally?
Okay, let's go legally and hypothetically.
Legally there's nothing I can do because I would get I mean it would be trespassing, it would be like it wouldn't be good. Hypothetically, I don't know if I can say it on air.
Then don't. Let's.
I'm kidding. I don't have it in me to ever do anything of what may be running through your mind right now as I say that.
I'm sure there's
I
a
would
lot
just
of
like to
Bears
rate him-
fans who feel the same as you, sitting
Oh,
there
yeah.
thinking, "Oh, I could just drive up to Lake Bluff and
Well,
do
I mean,
something."
his address isn't readily available. I'm not telling you how I got it, but his address isn't readily.
We're not doxing on this show.
Yeah, we are not, just so we're clear out there, Bears community, whomever else, security,
Legally, this is a joke.
Chicago
we are
PD,
totally
this
joking.
is a joke.
We are totally
I
joking.
do not have Matt Nagy's address. I am simply assuming he lives in Lake Bluff, Illinois. Simply assuming. But it's a pretty good assumption because that's where most...
based on context clues
Based
of
on-
his wealth, his wealth status and proximity to Chicago Bears training facilities and
Correct.
things of that nature.
Correct.
Just so we're clear, we will not be traveling to Illinois anytime
There's no reason to.
for
But-
any future. Like, we will not be traveling there at any point in time to do anything to Matt Nagy.
No, he's safe. It's fine.
He's fine.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Mr. Clean, you know what?
I'm sure Bald Man is a
commercials-
nice guy.
On those commercials, Mr. Clean looks like your friend's dad that you always wanted but you never had as your dad. Like, he just looks like the cool guy. that everybody
Did you
wants
have
to
this
hang out with.
situation? This feels like you're speaking from
I feel
experience.
like he's.
Well, that was my dad. My dad looked like Mr.
I was
Clean.
about to say. I
And-
was like, your dad looked like.
Yeah, my dad looked like Mr. Clean, and all my friends always wanted my dad to be their dad, but I was like, why? My dad's embarrassing, and I think Mr. Clean was super embarrassing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And
Thank
that's
you.
probably Matt Nagy, too.
It's listen.
Well,
Here,
he's an
I'll-
embarrassment
You
for
want
sure.
him as a dad, but not as a football coach.
I don't know if I want him as a dad. This man's gonna have me running. I don't know, like in the backyard. He's gonna have me like doing running back draws on 3rd and 12 as we play family football at Thanksgiving. That's
No. Your object on Thanksgiving is gonna be rake the leaves, but he's gonna have you run 3 and 12 just to rake the leaves, okay? He's gonna make it as complicated and laborious as possible for you to rake your leaves,
yeah.
alright?
You're gonna rake the leaves on the left side, but then you're gonna come back and you're gonna bake something, and then you're gonna go back out and finish. But don't finish
And have no protection at all.
and have no protection. I
just so-
cannot promise your safety.
Just so we're clear, your big brother / cousin from your mom's side, that's like 8 years older than you, is gonna tackle you in the process of going in
Multiple
and
times. Multiple times.
Yeah.
And I simply will not change the game plan. Okay, that's the other thing. Is the offense. I'm sorry. Is the offense, like, first half, fine, game plan doesn't work. But there were no halftime adjustments. None. We still came out and did the same dang thing. Like, it just. And he's done this for years. And people are finally seeing it because the QB has talent. Like, listen, I'll give it to you. Trubisky should not have been granted at 2, but all those times I was saying, it's Nagy. It's not just Trubisky. Listen, Trubisky's still not that great, but it's Nagy. And everyone was like, oh, you're a Trubisky truther. Just look at me now. I am in more pain than I was when I was saying that. Are you happy? I am right. Are you happy? Are you... If I will end with this, finally. My jumbled thoughts on Matt Nagy, who is a coward. Lives in Lake Bluff.
I don't think that doesn't sound jumbled at all. That sounds very poignant. And the point of that statement is to
My
severely
jumbled thoughts.
insult.
Nagy, you're a coward.
Nagy's a coward. He cares more about his own ego. And if losing to the Lions, if me being here next week, and Nagy doesn't have a job, but we lost like 38-7 to the Lions, is what it takes, then so be it. So be it. But here's the thing. We might lose to the Lions 38-7. And you know what? I'm going to come back here next Monday, and Matt Nagy will still have a job.
Sitting in his home.
I will be sitting in his home in Lake Bluff at 9:30 at night as we do this show, as I suffer.
You just said, okay, just so we're clear.
Because the Bears
she will
don't-
not be sitting in his home, folks.
Listen, no, Nagy will. But, like, the Bears fired Lovie Smith after winning 10 games and just barely missing the playoffs. How is this not grounds for a firing? This doesn't make sense. I want Lovie Smith back. I want that amazing beard that Lovie Smith still has back. I don't care how old he is, just bring him back.